Hello Year 6 and welcome to today's literacy video. Today we're going to be writing the third paragraph of our persuasive piece. Make sure you've got your plan to hand. In today's paragraph we are going to be using our supporting quotation. So you will already have this in your plan. So what we're going to be working on today is how to include your supporting quotation as part of a whole paragraph. So rather than just by starting straight away with the quotation, we want to introduce the paragraph. So I'm going to start with teachers all over the world. And this shows us that it's teachers everywhere. So you could apply this to yours by saying spies all over the world. So teachers all over the world are going crazy for the marking machine. Are going crazy for the marking machine. Remember, capital letters for the invention because it is a name of a brand. So now I've got my first sentence, which is introducing what this paragraph is going to be about. Teachers all over the world are going crazy for the marking machine. Now I can begin with the name of the person who said this quote. So I've got Mrs. Hines, remember? Proper noun, capital letter. Mrs. Hines. Now I could go straight into the quotation here, but I want to give a little bit of information about Mrs. Hines. Who is she? And the reason for giving a little bit of information about the person who said the quote is that it validates the quote. It gives it a little bit more standing. So I'm going to use brackets here, some parentheses, and say teacher of the year 2020 close brackets. Now I could say Mrs. Hines, teacher of the year 2020 said, but what's a better word for said? What would work well in this sentence? You obviously don't want to use something like muttered or whispered. Have a think, why wouldn't you use muttered or whispered here? Because you're not telling a story. She's simply stating something. So you could use stating, you could use quoted, you could use commented. I'm going to use commented. In fact, no, let's use quoted. Quoted. So Mrs. Hines, teacher of the year 2020, quoted. Then we need our comma. Then we need our inverted commas. It's a miracle. Now I've got some emotive language there. It's a miracle. Something's a miracle. You're saying it's absolutely amazing. So it's a miracle. And I've also got a simple sentence which is introducing what Mrs. Hines thinks about the invention. For years, now I'm taking this from my plan now, so you'll be able to do this. I have suffered with debilitating. If something's debilitating, it means it makes life really, really difficult for you and challenging. With debilitating RSI. RSI stands for repetitive strain injury, and it's when you keep doing something over and over again with hands, for example, and it makes your hands really sore. Right, you can see here I've used suffered and debilitating. So this paragraph is going to be full of emotive language. I'm making it clear to my reader that before the marking machine, Mrs. Hines' life was really, really difficult. It's a miracle. For years, I have suffered with debilitating RSI, but this healed, so my conjunction but shows that it's now contrasting. But this healed. In no time. Thanks to the marking machine. Full stop. No longer do I spend. Now here I'm going to talk about hours marking, but let's think of an adjective, something else which I could describe those hours. So are they boring hours? Are they long hours? Let's go even further over the top. We could use numerous. How about countless? Countless hours marking, comma. So I'm explaining this quote, Mrs. Hines's feelings in relation to the marking machine. She thinks it's a miracle. Before the marking machine, her life was awful. But then as a result of the marking machine, she now, so I'm going to say instead, this is showing how it's improved her life. Instead, I get to spend that precious time. So again, I'm thinking to myself, well, I could have just called it, I could have just said time with my family, but I'm thinking constantly about different adjectives I can include to make my paragraph more emotive with my family. Full stop, and then don't forget the inverted commas to finish the quote. Let me check the quote now. It's a miracle. For years, I have suffered with debilitating RSI, but this healed in no time, thanks to the marking machine. No longer do I spend countless hours, I've got house, hours, that's why you need to make sure you check your work, children, hours marking. Instead, I get to spend that precious time with my family. So I've introduced what this paragraph is about by using this sentence here. I've then given my quote. Now I want to sum it up. I don't want just to finish my paragraph there. So how can you sum up this paragraph? Well, you could say something along the lines of, this is just one comment when teachers all over the world are commenting the same. So it's taking it into that context of this is just one of many people who are happy with the product. So I'm going to use that starter there. This is just one. And remember, children, sometimes you might start writing and think, oh, that doesn't make sense. I need to change that. And that's okay. That's part of the writing process. Move this up a little bit so we can see it. This is just one of, let's say, thousands. You could say comments. In fact, let's bring it into the 21st century. Let's say tweets. This is just one of thousands of tweets about now I could just say invention here, but again, I'm constantly thinking of those adjectives to describe my invention. So instead, I'm going to use groundbreaking. We've got another compound adjective here, so I need a dash because groundbreaking is describing the invention. And you can see I'm not using marking machine constantly. I've referred to it as an invention there. It's a different noun phrase. Right, let's read it through to check. Teachers all over the world are going crazy for the marking machine. Mrs. Hines, Teacher of the Year 2020, quoted, "It's a miracle. For years I have suffered with debilitating RSI, but this healed in no time thanks to the marking machine. No longer do I spend countless hours marking. Instead, I get to spend that precious time with my family." This is just one of thousands of tweets about the groundbreaking invention. And there you have it. That is your third paragraph. What I would like you to focus on today is making your paragraph really emotive. So making sure that you are using words like me, like miracle, you might have suffered, precious, which makes your reader feel something. I also want you to focus on making sure you're not repeating marking machine, or in your case, the name of your invention, by using different noun phrases. And I also would like you to think about your adjectives again. What adjectives can you use to constantly describe your invention? Good luck with today's task, and I cannot wait to have a read of your wonderful paragraphs. Have a great day.